Animating fight scenes is one of my favorite things to do, and while lightsabers, props, and effects are always fun to add in, nothing beats a good old-fashioned hand-to-hand fight scene. In this video, I talk about how to break down a reference video, apply it to animation to orchestrate a dynamic hand-to-hand fight scene coming up right after this. Welcome back Roundtable. This is Cliff from Roundtable Studios, where we help you enhance your animations, make them dynamic, and sharing your stories. So I did a video breaking down the basics of animating a fight scene, and not only did you guys seem to really like it, but I thought it'd be good to follow up with a more detailed explanation on hand-to-hand fight scenes. I'm going to use the Black Panther rig from the Black Panther vs. Wolverine Fast Fan Fight and Scorpion because who doesn't love Scorpion? Yeah, they're not in the same universe, so we can go over why they would fight, it wouldn't fly, blah 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 blah, but I like the characters so they fight. The links to where I found the models are in the description. I used Mixer Mode to rig my characters, which isn't a perfect system since they don't deform the characters the right way, but it's a great way to get started if you don't know how to rig or don't know a rigger. This is my personal animation workflow and it may be different from what you have seen, but this is just the way I like to go ahead about my animation scenes. So my reference for this video is from a movie called Triple Threat with Tony Jaa, Scott Adkins, Michael J. White, and a lot of other well-known martial arts fighters. It's currently on Netflix, check it out, it's pretty good. This clip is of Uwais, I'm gonna go with Iko, versus Michael J. White in their final fight. This clip I actually found on Michael J. White's YouTube page, I think to show off his martial arts parts in the movie, but this is the part that I'm going to go ahead and use for this animation scene. You can reference it right here from YouTube by using the comma and arrow keys to frame by frame, forward or backward in the animation so you can really watch the movement, but this video is 30 frames per second, so unless I want to animate to 30 frames per second, I actually downloaded the video and ran it through Adobe Media Encorder and switched it to 24 frames per second so the timing can be just kind of right. First thing I want to do is knock out my poses, starting with your initial pose, contact poses, and final pose. Contact poses being blocks, hits, impacts, and even steps. The more you block your poses, the easier your animation would be. The good thing about hand-to-hand scenes like this is that there are a lot of contact poses, so blocking really does a lot for your fights. But it is a lot of poses per second, which means it'll take a lot longer to create, so if you ever wonder why fight scenes take some time, this is particularly why. More poses equals more frames equal longer time to animate. Once you get most of the poses down, this is how it comes out. Now I actually do a second set of blocking to fully flesh out the poses so you can truly understand what's going on. These can be called in-betweens. I am pretty sure a lot of these feet movements are probably not going to appear in camera, but it's always good to block them out anyway so you have a true understanding of your character's weight. Also, if you decide to go ahead and change up your camera, you will have more options to do so and won't be afraid to go ahead and show off their feet. The second set of poses are mainly anticipation poses and follow through. Now, it's looking pretty good here, but all of the actions are happening at the same time. The next thing you want to do is offset the keys. What this will do is make your character seem less robotic and feel a lot more natural. Nothing in real life happens at the same time, they have a little offset. If you're adapting something from reference, especially a choreographed fight scene, remember that even though it looks good, it is a choreography. Why I say that is because if you're actually watching the reference frame by frame, you'll notice that the actors prep themselves for the action to really sell the hit. And while that looks good on camera, you don't necessarily have to include it in the animation. So in this hit, you'll notice that Michael J. White is setting himself up for the kick. And instead of putting that in, I figured it would look better if he was attempting to go for a hit instead. And then when we do the impact, I like to have the hit be instant. So take 1 to 2 frames from the character to change from its previous pose to the new reaction pose of them being attacked. Once it's done, it should look something like this. good, but now we're going to step it up a notch and give it the Unreal treatment. We first have to bake the animation to its skeleton and export as an FBX. If you want a step-by-step on how I bring the models and animation from Maya to Unreal Engine, I linked a card that shows the full process of breaking the animation to joints and then bring it over the easiest way possible. I use Epic's Unreal Engine to light, render, and use effects to post-process my animations. Unreal Engine comes with free assets so you can use to really take your animations to the next level. Not only that, but they hold a monthly free giveaway of other assets. The program is really user-friendly and I have a lot of fun messing with it. Now, there are other programs out there like Blender and Source Filmmaker that do the same thing, but this is just technically the one I use that makes me feel the most comfortable. I am using the abandoned factory environment from Scans Factory. Most environments come with a sample map of the environment to show off the assets that come with the pack, so I'm using that for our backdrop of the animation. Since the scene is dark and a little moody, I do a 2-point light setup here. A cool key light to lighten our characters and a bright rim light to give it more atmosphere. The scene by itself lights up the characters a bit, but never really enough to make it truly stand out, which is why we need the additional lights. I also use the Unreal Engine cinematic camera to do the camera shots for this scene, which I normally don't do. I normally take the Maya camera and plug it in afterwards, but this one's a little different. I wanted to go ahead and see how the Unreal Engine camera sets up, and it's pretty good. When you're animating hand-to-hand fight scenes, you want to keep your camera following the action. The way I had the camera before is a really far shot to show off the entire animation, but that doesn't do anything to make the action feel dynamic. You want to follow the action. Keep the character in full view and try to keep the cuts low. Once it's done, I render it out and added some sound effects. If you want more tips on how to create action scenes, check out my free ebook in the description. It goes over my top tricks when animating fight scenes, so you don't want to miss out on that. If I have to be honest, guys, out of all the series I do on this channel, I really like doing the animation plus tutorial versus just the animation or just the tutorial. I don't know why I never thought of doing it together before, but having an animation to show off my points with an addition of pulling from examples really makes a lot of sense. So expect to see how to animate a Demon Slayer animation, how to animate to music, and a lot of the future tutorials to have animations to go along with them. And if you made it to the end of this video, I'll give you guys a bonus. Since I am home the longest I've been since college, if you are an animator and want a chance to win a free critique by me, the question of the day is, what is your favorite hand-to-hand fight scene? It could be from a movie, video game, anime, really doesn't matter. There's no judgment here. Favorite for me is hard to say, but one that I really like actually is Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki from Boruto. Don't know if that really counts as a true hand-to-hand fight scene, but I love it. Comment down below and I'll choose a lucky subscriber and announce it in the next video. Thank you so much guys for watching, and remember, create something dynamic.